or science? That then was the question. To try and provide an answer to this, we went to London, where the Institute of Contemporary Arts was promoting an exhibition exploring the intersection of computers and art. The outcome, it must be acknowledged, was, to be perfectly frank, a little bit disappointing. Here is Rosa, a robot that moves among the audience and you never know when or why. It was originally designed to represent the Queen of France in a play. Some projections of computer-generated animations. And then there are these incredible statues that are constantly moving and stirring in every conceivable direction, all in direct response to the ambient lighting and the surrounding music. In these kinds of egg-shaped objects, people listen to contemporary music. Here is a statue that actually obeys the sound of a voice. When it is called, it turns to face the spectator who is present. This is more curious and even stranger. These are drawings created on a computer by a Japanese school. For example, candy, which is entirely brought to life through a series of lines that all converge to a single point on the ear. We can also impose several points of convergence on the lines and restart the drawing. It is the candy myth as it was represented by the instruments of that period. It is in this poor, rather pathetic little computer was programmed to draw a clown's head, a bit said it too. Overly symmetrical, overly straight. All of that was a bit poor. Miss Reichardt, director of the exhibition.
What I was trying to do was...
I wanted to understand if there were areas where artists had to become technicians, and if there were other fields where engineers and scientists engaged in creative endeavors. I'm not necessarily talking about art, but let's say about creation. And I discovered that there were people creating, with the help of computers, things like drawing, music, films, and even choreography. And many people had visual, poetic, musical ideas, but they didn't know how to express them because they lacked, let's say, the manual skill or the training, quite simply.
They are simply unable to comprehend this because they haven't received the technical training to create an image.
Beyond all these remarkable technological achievements, there were other devices, shall we say, perhaps a bit more rudimentary. Right here, a rather simple 4-wire pendulum. And frankly, one might almost question whether their overall output wasn't actually more substantial than that of the sophisticated computers themselves. At the very least, it's democratic. For 3 shillings and 6 pence, you can have one made for yourself. Was it a success in London? Did you have good results? Yes, very much so. We had a really significant number of people, especially their children. The kids, they responded so incredibly well. They don't stop to question whether something is art or not. It's the adults who tend to have more problems with that. The wonder of wonders, however, in our eyes, was that superb little machine by the Frenchman Tinguely. It too, it knew how to draw. It was certainly much less scientific, much less serious.
But it was absolutely magnificent. This is what I call real art.